Greetings and welcome back to Switch2Linux. I just startled him. It's okay, kitty. It's okay. We're just starting the show. Yeah, we're just starting the show. Stick around. Get your kitty treats at the end. Yeah, get your kitty treats at the end. All right. Well, greetings, everybody. How's it going there? Let me get Hex Chat booted up. I didn't want to do that while the kitty cam was on, so. Where's that? Uncenter internet, right? Think under internet. All right, get everything all lined up here. See if anybody's over there on Hex Chat. Launching. Getting there. All right. Well, how's everybody doing on this Saturday? This is like the day. Be very careful going out there if you need to go out there, because this is the last Saturday before Christmas, and that means that it's going to be insane out there. And yeah, I'm gonna probably attempt to avoid that. Color's a little weird. It's because we got full bright sun out there, and I really cannot do anything else to back down the sun that's boiling directly into there, other than trying to get like darkening blankets or something. So streaming in the afternoon is not the best ideal, but hey, we're gonna do with what we got. I do like a washed out zombie though. Let me see if I can fix the washed out zombie look, because I might actually be able to do something about that. Let's have a look. Whoa, that's worse. Let's adjust the gamma a little bit. Let's perfect. Let's bring that down a little, up that a little bit. I can make myself my true colors. Whoa, I'm green. All right, never mind. And I can indeed turn on ghost mode. But no, we'll run with that. Not ideal colors, but oh well, it's ugly. Not much I can do about it. But anyway, hey, webcams and the bright sun coming into the office window. So my apologies for the weird coloring, but man, I still hate it. It's horrible. Oh well, we'll run that. Also, wearing black on a live stream with a webcam is actually not good. That's the thing. But maybe I should order me a white sweater too. These ones, you can get these at shop.switchedtolinux.com. Amazing sweater. I've had it for quite a while, and it's actually still in perfect shape, which is awesome. Anyway, how are you guys all doing today? I still hate the color. I hate the coloration. Let me fix my filters again, or just turn them off. Wow, that's really bad. Okay, let's do that. That's actually pretty good. We'll stick with that. We'll run with that. All right, hello, Alex. Greetings. You have a guess as to what the DistroWars is going to be. Well, we'll see if you're right when we get there. Arthur Thing, the convenience of Wi-Fi-enabled light switches and electrical sockets is awesome, but the evildoers took it to a bad place. They took a tool and turned it into a weapon of sorts. Yes. Get the mic a little closer, too. That way you can hear the coffee sip. All right. So anyway, we got Folgers Black Silk today. If you guys have never had Folgers Black Silk coffee, it is quite amazing. Very good. And I ran out of the generic stuff, and I was like, you know what? I couldn't find a sale on coffee anywhere, so I'm paying full retail. We're going Black Silk. Yeah, it's good. All right, Tech Haberdashi, hello. Yes, it purrs. The Militant Penguin. How's it going there, Militant? The light. Turn on the light. Good morning, Steven Anderson. Hello, Larry Moore. Greetings, Leo. How's it going there? Should I wait a few more minutes? We'll wait a couple more minutes. So, okay, so next couple of weeks, next, I guess, week, since it's Christmas, we probably will not have a supporter stream. I'll email people. If I'm around, and I probably will be, I might do something. I might do an open chat instead of a supporter stream. I'm going to email the supporters and find out that. I will, let's see, I'm going to release pretty much the rest of the pre-recorded videos I had, so the rest of the Google Alternative series next couple days. I'm not going to be putting a ton into the channel until maybe Friday. Next Friday will be the next kind of new content for me, really. But I will potentially be doing a special live stream on Monday night with my brother, who is a complete opposite of me, because I'll be over there. And So he streams on twitch.tv/MabusGames, and of course I stream over here, and we'll see what else we can do. Maybe we'll just do something funny. He'll be working on his video game, Entrea Chronicles, and I keep telling him if that thing will run on Linux, I'll get some people over there. But if it's just a Windows only, anyway. Hello, Jeff Hope. Greetings to you. Dude, I was going to wait so we had a few more people jump on and somebody left. Dude, come back. Come back. Come back. I was waiting for a few more people. If I put the distro war in the title, I think everyone would be jumping on. But I was like, Dystopic Tracking, and we did this to ourselves. Whatever. That crazy Switch Linux guy's ranting again. He needs that tinfoil hat back, you know. But anyway. Let's go ahead and... let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to say? I'm going to turn on YouTube memberships as soon as I can. I want to flip through a few more things and think about what I want to do with it. Probably not a lot different than what I'm doing on the other things. And then we should be launching the new channel on the 1st at the latest. I hope the 1st at the latest. I literally spent 5 hours yesterday just trying to get a good gallery working. But it's working now. So now it's just a matter of finishing up the content. I need to push out a few videos. I'm going to work on the video schedule over there. And as that ramps up, we might slow down a little on Switch Linux. I don't know yet. I really don't know. But there's a lot of cross content in there. So maybe I'll record similar things twice, once for you guys and once for those guys, because it's the channel is specifically focused on writing. And so if you found the channel, which is called Writing Done Right, just keep an eye on it, because I'm actually going to delete the old one that I had and recreate it under a different account rather than trying to transfer it, because there's really nothing there but a couple descriptions, easy to change. So anyway, keep an eye out for that information coming out, and that should show up there. Let's see, Lightbeam app in Firefox shows how third parties track everything you do online. It's really creepy. Yeah, awesome. Hello, Got Linux. Greetings. Just got home from work in time. All right. Well, welcome. All right, I think we can go ahead and get started. Let's see. Okay. We have, I don't see Sulib over there, but TechHab is over on HexChat as well. HexChat, we're on Freenode at switchedtolinux. If you want to jump on over there. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into this giant mess. Make sure my web browser's set right. All right, it is. Good. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the present-day dystopia. We all complain about it. There's so much tracking. Facebook is logging everything. Google's logging everything. Of course, it's only crazy people like me that are telling you about this. But the information is out there in public. I don't use crazy conspiracy theories. I actually use real reports. And with this, I did want to, though, turn this over and using some articles that Jeff sent me. Yeah, we did this to ourselves. And that's the thing. So if you guys remember back a decade ago, and there will be an outdoor philosophy on my other channel tomorrow on kind of a little bit more delving into this trend, but about a decade ago, think back to yourself. If you're old enough to be over, you know, if you were an adult a decade ago, we'll put it that way. If you were an adult a decade ago, think back to your life. How was it? Was it horrible? Was it them good old days? I remember Dennis Waitley's speech one time. He talks about the good old days is when we had to worry about getting polio, and you know, we only had one wash basin and you can only fill it with water once, and you were the 12th in line, and your uncle was a pig farmer. Good luck. Those were the good old days. But if you think back 10 years ago, the good old days of tech, now, there were some inconveniences. We had a separate digital camera. We might have a separate car GPS, maybe a separate field GPS, maybe, you know, all these different devices and tools that we had. We couldn't check our emails on the go. We didn't have quite as ready ability to communicate quite quickly. But a thing happened in the 10s. It was around 2010 to 2012 is really when these trends occurred. The first is the wide availability of broadband internet. Prior to this, I mean, we had a lot of connectivity to the internet, but a lot of people were still on dial-ups. You'd go to work. In fact, I remember in grad school, So this is going back into the earlier 2000s. I eventually just said, you know what? I don't need internet at home because I spend so much time at work, and we got, T1 lines at work, T1/T3. I worked at Penn State University. We had a lot of internet connectivity over there, and I was literally, yeah, I can go over, I can check my online bank accounts there. I can check all my online stuff over there. No big deal. So I could do all that. And it wasn't until a few years later when I was like, you know what? Internet's come a long way. The price is good enough. I can afford it now. I mean, I was a starving grad student. What do you want? And at that time, though, I finally put up internet. And I was one of the early, it was like an early adoption of having internet, like fast, high-speed internet coming into your house. It was probably like 5 Mbps. That's probably what it was. Fast internet, man. And then I had a network, I had a router, and, wow, this is cool, And that was a decade ago. Like, that was closer to 15 years ago. But about 10 years ago, broadband internet became more mainstreamed. We also had social media. Prior to social media, prior to Facebook, really. I mean, MySpace was kind of there, but really Facebook is the one that did this. Prior to that, were online mostly anonymous. We never really used our names. We very, very rarely would put any personal information out there. Now, after Facebook, we give it all up. We just push it all out there. We push it all out there. And then the next factor is the proliferation of these small smart devices. This is when iPhones, iPads, tablets, Android tablets, these things were all starting to come down in price and becoming mainstream. I remember when this occurred, I started to see people, nobody brought their Bibles to church anymore. Everyone brings their iPads or their Android tablets, and we had our YouVersion or our Bible Gateway apps to do our different things at church. Like, this is so cool, man. I have every single translation of the Bible ever right here. And the problem is we would sit there playing, Candy Crush wasn't a thing yet. Mega Jump, we'd play Mega Jump. We play, and so what happened is those convergence of three things made us go full force into this. Now, I'm going to stop and do a small parenthetical here because there are some people that argue, well, privacy's dead online. It doesn't really matter. That is complete and utter garbage. That is not a valid argument. You may as well raise up the white flag of surrender because it is not about the fact that your name is on the internet. It's about the day-to-day things that you do. That's the danger that we have here. So maybe it's not a parenthetical. But the point is that we're not talking about, yes, my phone number might be on the internet somewhere. My name might be on the internet somewhere. Obviously. What we're talking about is the dangers of the day-to-day tracking. This is why I do not recommend using Google services for everything that you do. Yes, of course, you're probably watching this on YouTube, although you might be watching it on BitChute at Switch to Linux. But, just because you have a Google account doesn't mean you have to put everything into it. Just because you have a Google account doesn't mean you stay perpetually signed into it. Okay? We want to prevent these companies from tracking anything and everything that we are doing. Not as a one point in time. This is not a one point in time your data's out there. This is a how they track you progressively. This is not a static thing. It is a dynamic thing. And when you understand it's about dynamic privacy, not static privacy, then you can understand the importance of not carrying around a cell phone that's attached to anything and everything. You can understand the importance of taking some privacy. You can understand the importance of accepting a little bit of inconvenience to maintain the integrity of your life. And that's what I want to talk about. So the first article here, and Jeff sent those both out to me, so thank you. The decade of tech turned dystopian. We are complicit in the corporate surveillance state we inhabit. Our present dystopia is our fault. Now, everyone talks about 1984. Places like China and North Korea are 1984. The rest of us in the West, we have just as much tracking, we have just as much of the stuff, but it's not 1984. We have to stop saying that. We, in the West, are Brave New World. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. The impositions on ourselves were adopted by ourselves. It was our own pleasure. It was our own addictions, our own seeking out our own pleasure that caused us to get into this place. We are not 1984. We are Brave New World. Now, there is another fabulous book that you should read, and it is called Amusing Ourselves to Death by Neil Postman, where he actually does the analysis looking at 1984 versus Brave New World versus where we are. And by the way, the book was written in the 80s, and it is prophetic to this day. Not pathetic, prophetic. It is fascinating because we are completely complicit in the technology. As we have adopted everything, now the rest of us must. Or it's not we must adopt it or be left behind. It's we must adopt it. We have no choice. And that's the danger. In Bloomberg, this is the decade we gave away our privacy. We took silly personality quizzes on Facebook that made Cambridge Analytica possible. We bought phones that tracked our locations everywhere we went. We plugged in smart speakers that send recordings of our most intimate moments to humans overseas for transcription. We downloaded apps and plugins with reckless abandon. We installed security cameras everywhere, and we clicked through the terms of service without reading. We agreed to do whatever it took to make those pesky red badges on our phone go away. We are complicit in the corporate surveillance state we inhabit. That is a fascinating beginning of this article, which I'm not actually going to read here. I will have it in the description if I remember. If not, you can find it. The Decade Tech Turned Dystopian by Bloomberg. You can find that pretty easy. I don't know if I really need a link to that. But anyway, so they go on to say that, yeah, that just doesn't mean we weren't duped into it. Sure, they gave us all these carrots. They dangled carrot after carrot after carrot. And if this carrot didn't work, that carrot probably did. And so this is really the fact of the matter is that we have adopted it. Now, do we completely and forget about it all? No. We have to choose which services we use and choose which services we don't, and choose the circumstances by which we will use certain services. All right. So with that, obviously, yes, you're probably watching this on YouTube, although you might be on BitChute. You might be somewhere else watching the video. You might be on that, Chinese or Russian scraping site that scrapes all the videos off, and there's nothing any of us can do about it anyway. In that case, ciao. Hi. So, but you say, and it's a big criticism. You see it in the comments. Well, you're on YouTube. Yeah, but here's the difference. I have one dedicated computer that's logged into YouTube. I don't use it for anything else. I do not stay logged into accounts. Google has no idea what I'm purchasing day to day because I'm not logged into accounts. I'm not using Gmail to send my receipts there. Okay, ever notice going to Lowe's and Best Buy nowadays? Oh, would you like this to email you your receipt? No, I want you to not have my email at all. Thank you very much. Give me a print one. That's perfectly sufficient. All right. But the fact of the matter is, while yes, we are doing this on YouTube primarily, and the reason is because this is where the eyeballs are. This is where the revolution must start, where the people can get the information. And that's so critically important. So with all of this, I loved what this article did. And this article goes through. Now, they link back to this New York Times article, which was this article is fascinating. The other one is flat out terrifying. Definitely read through this. But I want to look at this. This is an opinion article from the Times. These are the actual locations for millions of Americans at the New York Stock Exchange and at the beachfront neighborhoods in Los Angeles and in the secure facilities like the Pentagon and in the White House. And at a Mar-a-Lago, President Trump's beach resort. Okay. One Nation tracked an investigation from the smartphone tracking. Now, the argument is that, this is just anonymous data. And the fact of the matter is, though, that it is so easy to de-anonymize it. If you are tracking an individual point, and you can say, you can track this one phone by a tracker ID, and you track it, and it always spends its evenings in one location and its days in another location. Evenings in one location, days in another location. You now know probably where that person works. And you can probably figure out who they are. Now you know where they are, where their home is. You can even tell with these devices what corner of the house their bedroom is in. You can tell from the movement of the devices when you wake up in the morning, when you go to sleep at night. You can tell if you're awake or asleep. It kind of goes through. Now, there is a lot of data here. We're not going to go through all this. I want you as homework to pull this up from the New York Times and read it. It is a fascinating read. So what they did is they actually went through and they found a few individuals. Now, they were basically just randomly picked a few points and tracked down everybody. They only included comments from people who agreed to have their comments posted. Some of them were in the tech sectors, some of them in the high security government sectors, some of them in the privacy sectors. So they do have a guide here. We're going to look at that, but they kind of look at, and there's a whole lot of here. So this is basically they're doing, this is a diary of your every movement because we keep our phones in our pockets for the most part. 10,000 or more smartphones tracked in Central Park. And by the way, this is data just from companies you've never heard of before. Here's one smartphone isolated from the crowd. Here are all the pings from that one single smartphone over the day. Connecting those pings reveals a diary of a person's life. With how much traveling this guy does, I bet he's a delivery man. This is the pizza delivery guy. I'm telling you. If any other human travels this much, wow. All right. So they didn't specify, but they go through. They discuss this lady here. She provided some comments for the article. Again, we're not going to go through all these. I just want to look at some of these. So this is a senior Defense Department individual and his wife identified at a women's march. Ooh, look at the women's march. She goes. She skipped. See that? Look at that. This is where the parade low's going. She skipped, man. She cut. She's a cheater. That's crazy. These are a selection of the companies grabbing this data. Let me know in the comments if you've actually heard of any of these companies before. Foursquare. I always thought it was really stupid to run around with an app on your phone and, I'm going to check into store, Foursquare. That's the only one of this list that I have actually seen prior to reading this article. Frightening. Why do we not have laws to prevent these companies from doing this? Beverly Hills, California. Of course, everything can be hacked. It's one thing to have the data, but we don't hear enough in the articles about the rogue employees who simply have access to this data. What we don't hear about as much, we hear a lot about the hacking. Okay, the hacking is certainly a big deal, but the individual employees. This guy here was worried because the app was identifying that he worked. I think he worked at Google, and he started going over and talking to Amazon, and he switched working for Amazon. They were able to track down the time of his interviews, things like that. Downtown San Francisco. The Holy Grail for marketers. Yes. So the Holy Grail for marketers is about utilizing this data for all these different things. If you've seen Minority Report, right? He's walking down and his eyes are scanning everything and they're giving locations. Well, did you guys know that Yahoo had a patent for that type of thing? Only instead of using your iRetina, it used the location data and the other information on your phone to serve a targeted ad to you as you were driving down the road. The idea is that there was a billboard with a scrolling text. There's some relay stations that track who's coming on down the road, and then they do an analytics. So there's 5 people in the car. Whoever is the most susceptible to marketing based upon their data will be shown a relevant ad based on where they go, where they are, and the things that they do. Yahoo had a patent for this. A lot of people criticize Verizon for buying Yahoo. It's like, why would you buy that? There's one reason why. Patents. You buy a company to get its patents. And I believe that Verizon wanted to have that among other patents that they had. This technology is out there. We have to be careful. Now, I want to go back up. I think we're not going to go through all of these, but I do want to look at the protect yourself one, because this is some stuff on your phone. Now, I did some security and privacy, more of a privacy series recently that has a lot of this kind of stuff in there, and I'll go ahead and link that there in in the comments. But that is a neat series. Now, the Hated One is actually starting a series similar to that as well. So you can have a look at the Hated One's channel. He just dropped one. I think his is more focusing on security, not privacy, if I remember correctly. But have a look at his videos. I watched it yesterday. I just can't remember exactly what his exact focus was. But they have here 3 steps to protect your phone. Number 1 is you stop sharing location with your apps. Okay, so if I were to look at my phone, I believe I have one app is allowed to see location when it's turned on, and that is OSM and. There's no other reason anything else on my phone needs to have a map. That one, you know, hey, it's a map. I kind of wanted to know where I am when I need that function, really. But I keep location services completely turned off. Never run location services. Do not use location services unless you absolutely have to. Now, I did get enough feedback into maybe set up that Nextcloud phone tracking, and I might actually do that, where I'll set up the app to see if I can have Nextcloud track one of my devices. I'll see if I can do that. So stop sharing location. They have instructions here on this for iPhone and for Android. Of course, on Lineage, it's going to be similar to Android. Of course, I've gone through there and I've made sure that nothing has access to pretty much anything. And then Lineage has, I don't think Android does, but Lineage has a thing called Privacy Guard where any new apps do not have. So on Android, when you install an app, it automatically gets all permissions on the phone. You have to know to go into there and turn them all off. Privacy Guard on Lineage makes it so that every time an app is installed, it has no permissions until you go and explicitly set it. So that's definitely a cool feature of running Lineage. Disable the mobile ID. So settings, Google Ads. I think this is this also on an Android device? Yeah, okay, they're doing it here on an Android device as well. So go into settings, find your Google settings, turn it off. Of course, I'm using Lineage. I don't have Google settings. Yeah, get that. 3, prevent Google from storing your location. Of course, this is like, you're going to trust them. I'm going to trust Google to do that. I thought that said 3, and I thought that said 3 things. But we're already having number 4. Number 4, understand location tracking is hard to avoid. So another way that you can be tracked is with if your Wi-Fi is on and always scanning. So this is one of the things that the Hated One said in there that I am not as good at, and I should be, is disabling wireless and Bluetooth when you leave. Now, Bluetooth I generally do leave disabled unless I'm making a call and need my Bluetooth headset. I don't really use Bluetooth for anything else. But I'm really bad about leaving Wi-Fi turned on, and I don't know why. I don't connect to anything else. But at least you can go in there and disable the setting on your Wi-Fi to have it stop searching for open access accounts. Because what happened in both Apple and in Android, they wanted to get as much data as possible. And one of the ways that they were doing that is by setting your phone so that it would automatically attempt to connect to open networks, which open networks are the last networks you ever want to connect with. It's the stupidest thing in the world. But they did. So that's kind of where I want to leave this. The fact of the matter is, all of this tracking is our fault because the things that we have allowed them to do this. But I'm encouraging you in 2020 to take back your privacy. It's not. There's people that will say, and they're friends of mine who say, it doesn't matter. It's all out there anyway. No, it's not. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. It is not about your name being on the internet. It is about the day-to-day things you do. That is what you need to control. That is what you need to control. So we'll leave it here with this. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments down below. All right, let's see. Head on back to our comments. Now we have a special DistroWars coming up, people. Special DistroWars. So that thing's like pulsing all over the place. I'm gonna get rid of that. All right, let's see. Okay. Happy to catch a Saturday stream. Missed everyone since he started sporting. Uh-oh. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming along. All right. Still at work. Went home for 3 hours of sleep. Came back. Exciting. Oh, boy. Anyway, to auto disable screensaver while watching YouTube. So that's going to be dependent on your desktop environment on Linux. So Cinnamon should do that automatically. Deepin never does. Gnome and Budgie go ahead and install on Budgie. It's actually it's integrated now with a panel plugin. You want to install Caffeine, so that's what you want to do for that. So Caffeine is ultimately your thing. So yeah, it depends on what you're running, what your desktop environment is. Like Cinnamon does it automatically. It's one of the reasons I love Cinnamon. I mean, it's like, hey, you're playing a video. We're not going to turn off the screen. Like Deepen, no way to stop that screen from turning off. Deepen's like, I'm shutting the screen down to go. You haven't moved the mouse in a while. You're down. You're going down. I don't know what XFCE and Mate's behavior is on that. Gnome and Budgie, though, install Caffeine. Okay. Windows screensaver does not kick in while watching YouTube. I was hoping Linux has a similar feature. Yeah, it depends on the desktop environment. Okay. Thing moved away from Windows because I was sick of seeing PC awake from sleep mode by itself. Linux seems to do the same thing sometimes without touching anything. For me, sometimes if I walk by, the vibrations of walking by wiggles the mouse. I mean, I've noticed that before. Like wake up on LAN feature, or you've got power issues. Yeah. If you're using wireless mouse keyboard, might be sending erroneous signals, which wakes up the system. Yep. Same system is doing it with different OS, and it's the hardware. Yep. Everything in BIOS is disabled, so I don't know what triggers the wake up. Much worse with Windows. Yeah. Even with data off, the basic cell signal from your phone can be triangulated off towers. Yes, but that doesn't go to apps necessarily. In fact, oftentimes it doesn't. That's something the cell carrier has, but the apps don't necessarily get that. Phone turned off. Use a pager when you have a call, and use a SIP virtual cell phones with a VPN, so no tracking. Yep. Turn off and Faraday bag. Yep. I believe almost true privacy can be done on a computer, but on a phone, not so much. Yeah, it depends on your setup. This is why I run Lineage, and why I run Orbot, and why I run, nearly everything through the Tor network on my phone. And you only install open source apps, and you deal with the limitations of that. Scared to read those articles and follow them up with a Selfish Ledger. Yep. Read the Selfish Ledger, or watch the Selfish Ledger again. Hello, Carlos from the UK. Greetings. Hello, Michael. Also, some USB devices sending wake-up messages periodically. Okay. Cell carriers, yeah. The cell carrier, you're not getting away from cell carriers knowing location unless you Faraday cage your phone. If you turn your phone off, they probably can still do that. You have to Faraday cage your phone is the only way to prevent that. So, aluminum foil. Aluminum foil gets a silly rap, but aluminum foil, the reason it does is if you wrap a phone in aluminum foil, you will cut all signal to it. It does prevent all tracking. Thoughts on just using a prepaid dumb phone? Funny. So prepaid dumb phone, go for it. So I'm actually going to be ditching the long-term carrier that I've had for 19 years and going with a prepaid plan in the new year here. I'm finding that the prepaid plans are anymore just as good. The customer service is just as crappy. I may as well pay less. I'm not paying you a premium for crappy service. So that's the case. So yes. Hello, LA. Hello, Morocco. Greetings. Well, let's go ahead and get prepped up for our Tech v Tech, or our Distro v Distro. Let's see what we're doing. Look at that. Linux Mint 19.3 against Ubuntu Cinnamon, baby. Oh, yeah. It's going to rock. Net 10. So I'm using Mint Mobile is what I'm going to go to because I just like Mint. Why not? Now, so Mint Mobile is one of the ones that I know of that will not limit your hotspot in any way. Of course, unless you're doing something completely unreasonable with it, it will. But it's not going to limit your hotspot. If I just want to connect my hotspot to back up my files as I'm writing on the go, I can do that with the hotspot on Mint Mobile. Can't do that on most other prepaids. I will be looking at other prepaids as well. Finally breaking free from that evil company called Verizon. Yes, I am. I am kicking Verizon to the curb. I have Android Lineage for Samsung. Does anyone know what trust security system SE Linux is not enforced means? So there is an SE Linux in there. So I don't know all the details on SE Linux, but it's like it's. I'm not even going to comment on exactly what it is. It just means that SE Linux is not turned on your phone. Alex called it. That's right. Let's go ahead and get ready for the first part. We'll be looking at Linux Mint 19.3 first. Wow. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. This is DistroWars, returning this time with the brand new edition of Linux Mint 19.3, competing with the brand new lightweight to the stage, Ubuntu Cinnamon. Ubuntu Cinnamon is not yet an official flavor. All right. Not yet an official flavor, but what it is it's just kind of getting started in getting your it's getting started in getting. My apologies, I might have to restart the beginning here. I got distracted on something on the screen. The new Linux Mint, by the way, let me turn that off. Let me kill that. Stop recording. The new Linux Mint does not have a VirtualBox set up for the older version of VirtualBox. I installed guest editions. It actually worked the first time. I just started up and did not start full screen. I'm like, what? Stop. Why are you doing that? Let's go ahead and start. Restart. Sip another sip of coffee. Let's try that again. And now that we're started, I shouldn't get distracted. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. This is DistroWars. Today we bring to you the brand new release of the long-term champion Linux Mint 19.3, of course the Cinnamon edition we are using today, against the brand new to the scene. Only two versions of this distro exist, and they are both less than about a month old, Ubuntu Cinnamon. We're going to give Ubuntu Cinnamon a little bit of a handicap because it's so stinking new, compared especially to Linux Mint, which is absolutely a mature and polished system. And again, we're going to highlight just a couple of the brand new features in 19.3 as we go through this, just because it just came out, and we'll do a separate video on that another time. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump on in. So we're going to start with Linux Mint Cinnamon. And over here on Linux Mint Cinnamon, when you first boot this guy up, you have the option to show a welcome screen, which you can disable it by turning off this check button here if you would like. You do have some amazing first steps. Launching system snapshots. This is like your old Windows restore point. It takes a backup of the system, but not a backup of your individual files. In case of a bricked update or a failed update or something, you can roll back to a previous version of your system. Driver Manager is going to be a tool from Ubuntu that is going to give you the ability to install proprietary drivers that were not installed by default. You do have an update manager. We will look at that in a moment. We do have a couple options of your layout. So we can go with our more modern, traditional Windows 10 type approach, or we can go with our older method here. And this gives us our quick launchers, kind of our old look. I like the look of the newer one, but I don't like the functionality as much. So I actually do have a video about how to get the old functionality back with the new modern look, which is the best of all the worlds. Let's go ahead and close this guy out. It's like, hey, you're in a virtual machine. We're detecting things. System settings over here, software manager over here, and we have our firewall settings. We also have documentation, help, contributions, and so in this new edition, you might notice that we have a little exclamation and a triangle down here. This is a new feature where it's going to show us any issues that it detects with the system, which you can allow them to, and you can permanently ignore certain systems if it's something that you're not using, like install language packs. Yeah, I don't need language packs, so we're going to ignore this problem. So setting a root password, you're probably going to want to set a root password. This is good for management. So the root account is disabled by default. You can set a root root password, and in so doing, re-enable the root account, and then you can set up the system restore. Again, I am not a fan of using system restore on Linux. I find it just so much easier to make a backup of your home folder, install the new distribution, and drop your whole home folder back on top of it. I find that a little bit better. We do have system information here, and we have a crash report system here. Now, of course, Linux Mint does not like any form of tracking. So by default, Linux Mint is never going to send any information out to their systems. Isn't that kind of funny how, in my opinion, the best Linux distribution does not need to automatically upload data to make it better? Well, why is it that all of these ones that keep on uploading data to make it better keep getting worse? It's a fascinating question that we have. All right, and now we have our updates. So in our update manager over here, we're going to click OK because this is the first time we've seen it. It's going to be giving us this idea. Do we want to change our local mirrors? We have an update to the manager. We're going to go ahead and apply this one because this one should not take a while. If it were full system updates, I would not run them. I just want to show you kind of what this thing does, and I can't as long as it's sitting here doing this. All right, let's, okay, update manager. All right, so here we can see the various type of updates that we have. We have a Linux icon, which indicates the type. So this is a security update. This guy here is a kernel update, and we have here just a basic software update. You can kind of see what types the updates are. If you want to hold something back, you can uncheck it, and then it will not. You can also right-click these. You can ignore current update, or you can ignore all future updates for package if you want to lock it in. We can adjust our Linux kernels over here, and this will show us what we are on. We are on Linux kernel 5.0.0-32. We can actually go up to this one here. We also have these ones here. These are superseded. This is supported until August of 2020. So you can choose which Linux kernel you're wanting to use. If you're on older hardware, it doesn't really matter which of these kernels you want to use. If you're on newer hardware, you probably want to try 5.0 or 5.3. Noting, though, that 5.3 does have a few issues with some Wi-Fi cards. So keep an eye on that. So they've actually given us a driver that will probably not have any, because that's what Linux Mint is just really good at, doing things that work right. All right, so we can right-click here. Actually, let's go ahead and have a look at what versions of everything we're using. If I can remember which one it is. Is it system information? System info. There it is. So since we're both on Cinnamon, we are on Cinnamon version 4.4.5. One of you guys keep track of that. I may or may not remember that version when we go and look at it in the next edition. As far as software being installed by default, under our accessories, I love the fact that Linux Mint does have a bunch of lightweight general system tools. We do have, Redshift if you like adjusting your colors. I don't, but hey, it's an option for you. We have an archive manager, calculator, character map. Oh man, I love the character map. Believe it or not, you use character maps for putting in special characters and things, and it's an overlooked tool. It really is. It really is. I know that's kind of silly. USB writers. We have under GIMP. So they have removed GIMP. I said GIMP earlier. They have removed GIMP in the latest Linux Mint. The reason is GIMP is more complicated, and I understand their decision. You can still install it. You can still install either the Flatpak or the repository version. They just installed drawing because it's a more user-friendly tool for the basic person who does not get into graphic design. I actually support this decision. It was an interesting change for sure, but I support that decision. It made the systems more simple for the less computer inclined, which is exactly what Linux Mint tries to do. We have HexChat, Firefox, web browser, transmission, Thunderbird. We have the full Office suite, including our basic and things like this. We have celluloid now instead of the old X player because it has better, it basically utilizes the processor better, so it should give you a better, smoother experience. Another one of the changes that they just recently made. Various administration, our various preferences, places. Of course, our system settings over here. We have a variety of really nice themes. So our theming over here, we have Mint X, Mint Y, Mint Dark. We have, for our icons, we have a variety of different system setting colors we can do the same. These will basically just change your whole system controllers. Only a couple mouse pointers, a white and a dark one. And then over here we have a variety, again, of different colorations or just kind of your defaults. So nothing else in here. Also, we're you know, I'm guessing my anticipation is that we're going to see very similar systems and setups. I don't know for sure because I actually haven't looked at the Ubuntu Cinnamon yet. I installed it and that's about it. So there we have that. And let's see if there's anything else I wanted to do. I want to have a quick look at the software manager because that's actually important. We also probably have Synaptic on here. So yep, we do have Synaptic Package Manager installed, which is generally installed. I believe this is required. This might be required either for Mint or for Cinnamon. It's required for something in there, which I think is a great tool to have on the system. We do have over here, we have our the software manager, which I find to be one of the better software managers in the Linux world. We have our Flatpaks are isolated down here. If there is a software that does have a Flatpak and a non-Flatpak version, it does clearly state which one's which. So it doesn't say it right here, but when you click in on this, so you look at the GIMP, this one, let's see where this one's at. Okay, looks like this one's giving us the version here that does not tell us the source. That means it's from the repository. This one here actually tells us down here, if you scroll past all this, that it does tell you that it is a Flatpak. So you can actually see where these are coming from. So that's actually a nice feature where you have the choices, you have the options. Of course, I want to do one more fun thing here. I want to sudo apt install Chromium because I want to see something. I don't know if that's Chromium or Chromium Browser. Is it Chromium Browser? I think it is. Okay, so we are installing Chromium Browser. It is installing from a repo. So the reason I'm going to look at this is because Ubuntu, if you install Chromium Browser through the apt command, you get a snap package. Isn't that awesome? And I'm pretty sure that Snap will not be on this because Linux Mint does not like it. Look at that. You can install Snap if you like snaps, but it is not installed. So we have a Chromium browser that is not a Snap package. So there is Linux Mint 19.3, brand new edition of Linux Mint. We'll do a video covering the changes and all that kind of stuff at a later time. But anyway, there is Linux Mint. Let's come on back with Ubuntu Cinnamon next. All right, let's catch up on our comments, then we'll boot up Ubuntu Cinnamon. Let's see. Love me my Mint. All right. May sound dumb, but I never knew Ubuntu Cinnamon was a thing. It is brand stinking new. Like, first edition was last month. It's not an official flavor yet. Guess what's going to be Mint versus Debian. I think, did I do one of those or not? I can't remember if I did a Linux Mint versus Linux Mint Debian edition. I can't remember. Comprised by the state-sponsored back is more complicated. All right. Installed Peppermint 10 on bare metal and Linux Mint 19.2 and a VM on the same drive. Surprisingly, Linux Mint Cinnamon and the VM is noticeably faster than the host Peppermint. That's really surprising, actually. Content helps me a lot. Even I have started a channel recently. It is related to Linux too, about other topics. Support, awesome. Hey, go ahead and post a link to your channel there, man. Awesome. That's cool. Cool with me. Post a link to your channel. And if you can't for some reason, if I have a mod on here somewhere that can find it, please post that. Thank you. You forgot the stream. No, you missed all the scary dystopia stuff. You've jumped into DistroWars. About as Mint as the themes. Every time I try and set a theme or break, or the theme doesn't work right. Really? I've never had a problem with theming. Huh. Interesting. Don't like the square app icons. You can change your icons. Yeah. You can just install a variety of different icon packs. You can install what you want on there. A lot of themes that don't work right, man. I have not encountered themes that don't work right. Now, it depends on if you're installing an XFCE theme. Obviously, it's not going to work in Mint. But if you're installing, I've never had a problem with installing various themes, and I'm even running custom themes or downloaded themes on this, which works fine for me. Okay, that's interesting. Chromium browser is what you want. Yeah, they're like, it depends on the distro. Some distros it's Chromium, some distros it's Chromium browser. So I couldn't remember which one's which. Okay. Yeah, I think I did Mint versus LMDE. I'm pretty sure I did. All right, let's go ahead and boot up our next one. Hey, Katie, I don't want you up here right now because we were about to start the next distro. But you will come up here. Just hang out over here. Lay down in the corner over there, and I will call you when it's time for kitty treats. All right? All right. Let's see. Oh, hold on. I need desktop view. There we are. Adwaita theme and Linux Mint is broken. Bummer because I love the GNOME 2 look. Yeah, is it a cinnamon theme? It's got to be a cinnamon theme. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into this one. As soon as it boots up, I'm going to run with it. All right. And here we are in Ubuntu Cinnamon Remix. Now, for those going saying, I've never heard of really Ubuntu has a Cinnamon edition? This is brand stinking new. I think the first version of this is back in November. I just downloaded this one today, which is just released recently. It's not on official distro watches yet. It's not an official Ubuntu flavor yet. Hopefully it will polish itself out, mature itself out, and become an official flavor. I don't know if it's good or not, to be perfectly honest. I haven't a clue because I just installed it and I didn't even poke around in it yet. So we are going to be looking at this with fresh eyes. First thing I would like to do is let's go ahead and pull up the About system while I'm remembering and see what versions we have. So, of course, we have an old version of Cinnamon. We have Cinnamon version 4.0. This is based on Ubuntu 1910. We are running Linux kernel 5.3. So our Linux kernel is newer. Our Cinnamon version is older out of the box. Okay, another thing that I'm noticing just looking at it is we do have these nice icons. I think these might be Papyrus, but then our Firefox sticks out here like a sore, ugly thumb. If you're going to have these types of icons, we need to have consistency across the system. Obviously, if you have some weird, obscure application, you need to use whatever you got or make one. But for the most part, in this case, Firefox is a pretty standard item. I'm not sure why they're using Firefox's own browser icon for this. It does really make it stick out like a sore thumb. All right, other options inside of this. We are going to see a few changes in this that we did not see in Linux Mint because that one was a brand new version of Cinnamon. Let's go ahead and have a look at what we have as far as our file manager. That's our show our desktop. This is our file manager. I hate that icon. All right. All right, so we probably are running Nemo, looks like. So we are running Nemo, of course, attached to Cinnamon, so that's good. The theming to me right now is kind of a little ugly. That's kind of a minor thing. I'm hoping that we can change our themes. And I'm not actually seeing a software update, or is this it? Oh, software updater. We have a software updater over here instead of in our task manager. So that's a little bit different. So it looks like it's using the basic Ubuntu updater. So it's kind of telling us that we have some things to update here. Ubuntu base. So this looks like the software updater for Ubuntu, which basically means we may not be able to change our Linux kernels as easily. Yeah, we can still do it. We will just have to use the online cases to do that. But let's go ahead and dive into, let's see what else we got. So system settings. Inside of our system settings, I predicted these would be very similar, and indeed they are. I'm not even seeing my driver manager. Okay, additional drivers. Let's see if this is the same thing here or not. Okay, so everything here is kind of tying into the basic Ubuntu packages instead of utilizing how Linux Mint does it, which basically means that you're going to have to search for the Ubuntu software and update system to do additional drivers and things like that. You're not finding that inside of the control panel quite as easily, unless I'm missing it. Not seeing it there. Online accounts. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Let's go ahead and have a look at our theming options. I actually think the theming is pretty ugly. It is. Ugh. We got a light and we got a dark. So we have a Como light. We have a Camo light, Camo dark. What's our default? I'm not really feeling any other themes. I'm not feeling any other themes. They did get rid of a lot of the good themes that we have. Let's switch back to that. We have Como light. We have Como dark. I am not liking any of their themes. I would want to go in and add new themes. Their theming is pretty atrocious here. All right, there's system settings. Let's have a look at software tools. It looks like we have the GNOME Software Center. Holy bright green button. Ooh. Oh, I was hoping I would like this. We have the GNOME Software Center. Respectable. Not my favorite, but it's definitely respectable. Let's have a look at GIMP. So we have GIMP is installed. There's 2 GIMPs listed as installed here. Not sure why there's 2 GIMPs listed there. That's one of the quirks that we sometimes find inside the GNOME Software Center. I find some things are just not there. All right, let's see what else we got as far as our applications go. Basic accessories. We are missing many of the accessories that makes Linux Mint so good, like the USB writers, other system tools, character map. I mean, I kind of only half joke about the character map, but it's actually something I use a lot, so I'd have to re-add it back into it. We have some basic games installed. We have GIMP installed. Looks like we have our LibreOffice Draw. We have Firefox, Thunderbird. We don't have the full Office suite, but we have certainly everything that a basic person is going to want to use. NovMPV. Yeah. What is it? Is it snap-list? No, I'm trying to remember exactly how I list my snap packages. Yeah, I can't remember how to list my snap packages. But what I want to do right now is I want to... oh, hold on. Why don't I read the documentation? Okay, let's see. History, commands... I wanted to list what was installed as snap packages already. Snap list. No snaps are installed yet. So we have snap is installed, but no snaps are installed yet. So let's do a sudo apt install Chromium browser. Installing Chromium Snap. So if you want Chromium on this, you're getting Snap with Chromium because that's what I anticipated because this is based on Ubuntu. All right, so okay. Overall, here's my idea. I'm not liking it. So I find that the theming to be a little bit atrocious. Most of the things that really makes Linux Mint stand out are completely absent from the system. Even the things that make Cinnamon as a desktop environment stand out are absent from the system. The absolutely better software store, the absolutely better update manager with the kernel manager embedded into it, system backup, system updates, all this type of stuff is completely missing. We have theming that is not particularly good, including inconsistent theming like this icon pack with the Firefox default icon out there. It's going to take forever to finish loading that. We find that a lot of the applications that the basic system tools that might be useful are kind of missing. And I'm finding that how everything is all integrated into the Ubuntu software manager is a little bit problematic in this case. So overall, I think this distro, it's going to work for you probably if you need something to work, but at the same time, it feels like it's really just missing, it's missing a lot of your things. Oh, look at this. Now that I installed Chromium, now I have Chromium, I have Core 18, I have GTK common themes, and I have Snapd. What? Okay, so apparently Snap was there and just not working. As soon as I went to install Chromium, now it just added a lot of extra stuff. So it says it added more core themes. Let's go ahead and check our themes. Let's see if there's more themes were added somewhere, just out of curiosity. They shouldn't because it looks like we do have more icon packs to choose from now. None of those were Firefox themes, so it installed extra icon packs for us. So that's what we could do with it. Here's panel settings. I'm going to close that. Yeah, overall, I'm not actually impressed with this. It's got a way to go. It's a maturing thing. It's young. Like we said, we were going to give it a little bit of a handicap because it is a brand new distro to the field. It's got some long ways. I'm not going to say let's burn it with fire at this point in time because it is so new. Let's give it a chance. Let's give it some time. Let's give these guys some feedback, and maybe we can get a very good, respectable system. I think the first simple things to do, work on the theming. The theming is pretty bad and pretty inconsistent at times. A lot of the best features of Cinnamon desktop environment are completely stripped out. So we have a traditional Windows-like feel, but really nothing else. All the things that Cinnamon brings to the table are missing. So I don't know. That's my final thoughts. So ultimately, right now, distro versus distro, I'm not really on the fence. I think Linux Mint took this one, even though we handicapped it. But I guess it was kind of like Mac going up against Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, if you remember that old game. So, you know, it kind of self-handed to itself. But it's a new distro. Let's revisit this in upcoming versions. Let's see what they do with it. Let's see if the community, if it's a community project that listens to the responses and the criticisms, and you know, maybe we can see the reintegration of some of those things that really makes Cinnamon really stand out as Cinnamon. Those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Okay. Alrighty. Link to the channel. Thank you, Q1 Fiend. Awesome. Let's go have a look at the channel there right now. Copy link address. Let me paste you right there. All right, so you're still working on your content. All right, sounds good. Yeah, so he has liked there the online security tutorial that I was talking about. He does have that channel listed over there, so you can go have a look at that. Going to make a video on beta release of the new Deepin OS. Maybe. I heard it's crazy. I like Ubuntu Remix. Tried it last week. Still needs some work. Yeah, it does need some work. Firefox's new icon looks amazing, though. It does look amazing. The new Firefox logo is cool. I like it. It just sticks out of like a sore thumb because it doesn't match the rest of the icon theming. Don't think orange Firefox logo sticks out on an orange theme. Yeah, but it's the fact that the orange icon theme pack is a static panel of colors and the Firefox logo is in true color. Looks like a Halloween color, yeah. Ubuntu Cinnamon looks more like pumpkin spice. Yeah, white theme. My eyes, my eyes. Ubuntu Remix is the basic white girl. Snap help. Yeah, just snap list. Yeah, I forgot what that was. All right. Did you just open a white terminal? Yes, I did. Apparently. That is, yeah, I mean, it's, so the website's not live yet, but you can go to the SourceForge page and download it. Same thing as Fedora Cinnamon and Manjaro Cinnamon. They still had some of the other Cinnamon tools in there, though. I don't remember their Cinnamon implementation being that bad. I mean that for all Ubuntu distros. Can't find a single one that makes me question using Mint or Pop. Yep. Switched from Cinnamon to GNOME about a month ago. Regret nothing. All right, there you go. Have you realized that Mint is Ubuntu based? Yes, I do. Okay. Tools they include are actually very nice, while minimal. No, please burn with fire and burn Ubuntu with it. We're going to give it a chance. We're going to give it a chance. Yeah, I just cannot get into GNOME. I just can't do it. I can't do it. It just doesn't jive with my workflow. But it's great if it works for you. It's totally awesome that we have so many options. I love the Cinnamon workflow. That's what I use. So. System was 500 megs while idle, but mostly blame systemd for that. Use Arch with i3 if you want a lightweight system. There you go. Need to try i3, but probably use Gen 2 for it. Yeah. The cat's still there. Yeah, he's over here. What's up, kitty? You want to come up now? You can come up now if you want. Come on, kitty. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Roar. We got a kitty. Houston, we got cat talk. Excuse me. Hey, stay off my cat pad until after I feed you. I don't want your drool on my cat pad. All right, buddy. Let's see here. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's feed that cat. Go on. Give us the paw. Give us the paw. Give us the paw. Give us the paw. Give me the paw. Give me the paw. Oh, it's too close in there for the paw. Here, stick your face in there. Grab it. Yeah, you got it. Here's another one for you. Let's do one more for this camera over here. Oh, he snagged that one. Oh, are they finger licking good? They are. They're finger licking good. No, that's all you get. Stop mooning everybody. Stop mooning everybody. Don't moon people. Mooning people's not cool. That's not a good thing to do. Mooning is something only bad kitties do. There you go. You have my cat pad now. Okay. All right. The Desk Panther arrives. That's right. We got a Desk Panther. Houston, we got cat dog. Let's see. Deepen is really nice. I might give it a try. I heard the new one's atrocious, but I don't know for sure. Does the cat use Linux? Yes, he uses Puppy Linux. Let's see. Sulub is showing on the client. Oh, okay. Yeah, didn't see you there. Yes, Sulub is there. Greetings there. Yes. Said you weren't in the chat. Oh, yeah. I didn't see you showing up there, but maybe you're there. Okay. All right. Let's see. No, the kitty runs Puppy. He runs Puppy Linux. Right, kitty? You run Puppy, don't you? Yes, you do. Now, the video means real business when there's a kitty in there. That's right. Your grammar. All right. Sadly, my cats ran away. Oh, that's so sad. Right, kitty? Don't run away. My kitty can't run away. They're terrified of outdoors. I made sure they were scared of outdoors. I just let them go outdoors right when a big dog was walking by. They got the idea to not go outside. Right, kitty. You don't even try anymore, do you? No. You're happy, content looking out the window where you know you're safe. All right, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this guy up here. Next live stream, maybe Thursday, but most likely just Friday. No live stream Christmas. I will release this DistroWars on Christmas, though. I'll get it out there. So we'll do that. Keep an eye on the definitely keep an eye on the YouTube community tab. If I remember to get my social logins together, I'll take them with me and let you guys know. But I might be doing a live stream on Monday night. And let's see. Other than that, have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate what's thing. This cat's name is CJ. The other cat's name is TJ. But you never see TJ. She's actually mostly lives on the mothership. So she's rarely down here. This guy here is my cat handler. He is actually a full-fledged, natively born reptilian alien. And I am a human converted to reptilian alien, and this guy's my handler, so he always has to stick around with me. The other cat hangs out up on the space station most of the time, so, you know. Anyway. So, you know, that's that. Let's go ahead and, okay, so your first video will be released on Monday. Very good. Awesome. All right, well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We will catch you guys all later, and enjoy your holiday season.